This is the in-depth training covering product layouts. Product layouts are what give you the information that is going to show on your reports, such as your invoices and estimates and work orders. And these vary from product to product and can be used to add or change around information and get that information to show on these reports how you want it to look. First, before we get started, we'll go ahead and pull up an order real quick to kind of show you guys where the product layout is found on the order. So we'll take an order and we'll come down here to the Summary tab. And you'll see this information right here is the information that is being generated from the product layout. You'll see it says Summary. There are two product layouts for each product. The Summary is the product layout that you will see on the invoices and the estimates, the reports that are going out to your customers. And then you'll also have the Detail with extra information that is going to be on the work order report. And the reason there are two separate product layouts for a product is for this reason. You're going to want some more detailed information to be printed out on the work order for the people in production and to give them the information they need to get the job done. And there's going to be some information that you might not want your customer to see, so it's just going to be a shorter summary of what the job entails. Now, there are two ways to access your product layouts. First, we can go to Setup, Pricing Setup, All Pricing Setup. And over on the far left down, we can see Product Layouts. And this will give us all of our categories, and this is how you can access the product layouts for all of your products. Another way is to go back up to Setup, again, Pricing Setup, All Pricing Setup. And through your product setup, we can choose our product. So we'll choose the roll sign print. And you'll see a tab right up here, Pricing Forms, Product Layouts. And it'll show you the product layout being used for your invoice and estimate, which is the Summary, and the product layout used for your work order, which is the Detail. Now, if you don't see this tab, we can come over to our Advanced tab, and you'll see the Pricing Forms, Product Layouts, and just make sure that this checkbox is checked to View As tab. So we'll go ahead and open this up and select Edit Product Layout, and it'll bring us directly to the product layout for this product. All right, what we did for this video's purpose was we took the roll sign print product layout for the invoice and estimate, and we just took the little top part off to kind of break it out and make it a little easier to follow, because it can be a little overwhelming at first if you haven't worked a lot with product layouts and if you're unfamiliar with it. And it's just important to kind of break it down line by line and see the information that's going to be being pulled in. All right, we're going to go ahead and show you guys how to add a few of the more common things that we get asked about, and also how to maybe move some information around to get it to display as you'd like. So we'll go ahead and go into edit mode, and we'll see right here the quantity, and then we're going to see image height times the image width. So maybe you want to see width by height as opposed to height by width. So what we could do is come in here and just simply change these variables around. We'll go ahead and do the same right here. And just like that, we just switched around height and width. And to go along with this, a lot of times people want to see maybe a little H or in a little W after the height and width, just to avoid any confusion for both people working in production and also when you're sending this out to your customer. So what we can do is we can add text for the H and the W just to make it clear. So we can, after the width, we can come in, and when using text, we're going to use quotations. So we want to put W for width. And then after height, we can come in and do the same thing. We can come over and hit save. And we'll go back to that order that we started with. And we'll now see the W and the H that have been added. Okay, we're going to go ahead and go back to the product layout. Come back in and edit. Now, another time, as we'll see, just to go back to the order, we'll see this Ultraflex 10-ounce gloss banner material. Now, this may be something that you want to see on your work order for production purposes, but maybe you just want the customer to see that this is a banner material as opposed to the actual part name. So we can come back into our product layout, and we'll see right here, roll stock material, which is going to give us the actual material type. We can change this to roll stock material type, save, and just to show, we'll come back to the order. And now it changed from that part to just say made from banner stock material. And that's another one that we get asked about. Okay, back to the product layout. Okay, let's say you may have added a modifier to your product and want that to show on your product layout. So let's say, so we'll come in and we'll add it right up here at the top just to make it easy to see. Okay. The modifier that we'll use, well, first we're going to want to add another HTML list item, which what this does is adds it as a little bullet point. And we're going to want to add some text to give the information that we're going to pull a description. So we're going to call it rush charge. Now, what we're going to do to get this variable to show and to pull in that information from the variable, we're going to use the display modifier value. And then we're going to open parentheses and quotations and type in the name of the modifier that we created and that we're using. We'll come over and save so we can see the changes take effect. Come back to the order. And we now see that rush charge of 15% that we had added to that order. Okay. Next, we'll show you guys how to pull in, maybe you have some user-defined fields associated with an order. For instance, design due date. If we want to go ahead and give this order a design due date, maybe August 1st. And we want to be able to show that information. We can come back to our product layout. We can edit. And again, we'll go ahead and add it right up here at the top. And we'll go ahead and create it as another HTML list item to continue with what we've been doing. Now we'll give it some text. Now, because this is a date, and we want this to display as a date, we're going to need to use the display date function. And now to pull in a UDF associated with an order, we're going to use what we call transaction UDF. And just like we did with the modifier, we're going to open parentheses and quotations and type in the name of the UDF that we want to pull in. Okay, so we'll go ahead and save. come back to our order. We now see that design due date of August 1st that we have added to the order. Okay. And that's just a review of a few of the more common things that we see. Now I'm going to go ahead and show you guys some documentation that we have on our wiki. On the control wiki home, you'll see control documentation. And then on this page, we're going to scroll down to the very bottom. And under technical reference information, you'll see Serious Formula Language CFL Guide. And this is just, it's about 7 chapters that covers the Serious Formula Language CFL, which is that information that we were just using within the product layouts to move around information that you want to get into the places that you want it, and also how to add in information such as modifiers and UDFs and things like that. And again, it is something that can be difficult, especially if you haven't worked with it. But again, it's just important to take it line by line and break down and look at that information as you're trying to pull it in. All right. Well, this concludes our video for product layouts. Hope you guys enjoyed it and took a lot from it.